Hi, I'm James and welcome to another review. Today we're looking at Zvezda's 1 to 200th kit for the Junkers Ju88A4. It's a snap together kit, part of their Art of Tactics series. I've picked up quite a few from that series, mainly in the 1 to 100th scale. This is the first of the 1 to 200th I picked up. So let's have a look what we've got. We've got a nice evocative the artwork on the cover, picture of what we're going to get on the back. Really should have taken the time to open that first. There we go. So what have we got? Okay, so we've got an instruction leaflet. Okay, nice and simple. Can't see any major dramas with that one. Just says that's from the Art of Tactic game. I always miss the old Airfix ones where you used to have the little bit of potted history. So perhaps I'll have to cover a little bit of that. And they're saying that the Art of Tactic isn't part of Zvezda anymore, so that's fairly typical. Now we've got a flight stand, 2 parts. I've not used that on the one I've assembled, and I'll show you that in a minute. Nothing wrong with it. Then we've got the aircraft. Now I was surprised, I'm used to aircraft models where the fuselage is in 2 halves and you snap them together, but this one it's a one-piece fuselage. We've got the lower halves of the engines, you've got the undercarriage, tailplanes, 4 externally carried bombs. We've got the wing with the 2 upper parts of the engine. We've got then the engine front and the propeller. That piece goes inside the cockpit, and I'm desperately trying to remember what that piece was. That was the under part of the fuselage. I had to think for a second then. So not too many parts. This will look 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 parts. I reduced mine by 2 because I left the undercarriage off. I didn't really want that on a wargaming model. You've then got a couple of other parts actually. You've got 2 more parts inside the plastic bag. We've got the 2 clear plastic. You've got the nose cone and the cockpit. Again, they snap on. I have found that the cockpit one is not a particularly well fitting one. I've had to glue that one. And then we've got the part of the kit that I actually thought was the weakest actually, which are the transfers, decals if you're American. Lots of numbers, but only 2 letters, H and Z. Now unfortunately the Luftwaffe had 3 character codes. 2 of them were letters, 1 was a number. So I would have rathered a lot more numbers than letters. I also think that they're overscale. I tried to fit them on the first one, or else they didn't fit particularly well. The model itself is pretty much bang on the 1 to 200th scale when I measured it out. But the decals, they look more to me like 1 to possibly even 1 to 72nd. So I didn't use them, which is a bit of a shame. I would have liked ones that fitted a bit better, but that's the only negative point on the kit. I have already got one of these. This is actually the second one. I've got the first one completed. You can see that I'll put it on the rotation in a minute, but it's a nice little aircraft. It looks okay. It'll do nicely for blood red skies. It's the perfect scale for that. I just think unfortunately it's say that you're relying on having to paint on your own crosses and any other modifications you want, like the squadron numbers. Bit of a downside. I haven't painted mine particularly well. It was a bit of a rush job, just enough to get it on the table. Now the Ju88A4, or I should say actually before I go into the history, that you can see that I've actually modified the model. All I've done is enlarged the hole underneath to fit the 3-position blood red skies flying stand, because I've got plenty of those. I'm always going to have ones I'm not using at the time. So the Ju88A4 it's got a lot of uses in game terms. It's usable for obviously blood red skies, which is why I fitted it with the relevant base, but it also works quite nicely in cruel seas. Quite convenient, the scales are the same for those. Now the A4 slightly different from the earlier versions in that it's got a longer wingspan because of the redesigned wingtips. It's also got an improved engine, although it was actually slightly slower than the earlier versions, I think mainly due to the weight. The undercarriage is reinforced, which obviously isn't going to matter as far as my modelling is concerned, but it does have underneath the 4 bomb racks externally, which is quite useful because that actually shows on the model, so it does differentiate if you want to do that. There was also a variant of it which became a torpedo carrier, but that got rid of some of the dorsal defence machine guns, so you'd have to modify that one a little to actually use that. But nice enough little model. If you go out and buy aftermarket markings for it, that would be even better, but for me, gaming as I do, that'll do for now. I'll probably repaint it and redo those at some point. Hope that's been useful. See you soon for another review.